sitting in the wrestling room today, HSE wrestling room. You can learn a little bit of wrestling technique. So we'll kick it over to Bub. What you got, Bub?
We're going to look at Chad Red's underhook offense. Briefly, he just goes underhook to a single, finishes it really clean, but we're going to take our steps all the way through to see how he finished. So he starts off, one of the most important things about your underhook is also your head position. Yes, you can have an underhook, but if you have crappy head position, it's not going to get you anywhere.
So why does that position even matter?
It frees up his left hand, essentially. So right now there's nowhere for Central Michigan's guy to go because he has the underhook on the right side and his head's laying across his shoulders, behind his neck on the left side of his body, right? So it kind of forces him into a good morning-esque position, and it makes him really uncomfortable. And now he also has his left hand free to use. He sucks it down, and that forces Simon to immediately start lifting his elbow up, and that's going to open the window to shoot.
So right? When you say sucks it down, is he taking his left hand, that left hand, is that on the back of his head? Is that on his... Where's his left hand right now? We can't really see. I can see his elbow, but where...
It looks like it's on top of the shoulder.
So he's pulling his, Red is pulling Simon's head towards his belly button. Towards Red's belly button. Is that what he's doing there?
He's pulling his shoulders down.
Pulling his shoulders down.
He has his head underneath his chest, so he's not really worried about where that's at, because it can't get left to right to the sides of his body that quickly without him knowing. So the underhook on our side of the camera, that's the one that he pulls down, because that forces Simon to switch his shoulders, which opens up the opportunity for his left hand to just pop through. So when his left hand pops through, he doesn't take a deep penetration step, because if he goes all the way down to the mat, he loses time and he can get sprawled on. So he just reaches for it and goes into like a knee pick, like a head inside knee pick, and just drops the underhook hand down, right? From here, this is when he drops to his knees, because now he can have a wide base. He's not getting sprawled all the way on top of, and he has a lot of pressure in. Right, his head positioning still on the inside. It's going all the way across the body, which is good. That helps take some leverage off the sprawl. And then he just starts walking his knees, literally just walks on his knees towards that leg until he locks his hands and is able to stand up. He doesn't try and come up at the hips. He doesn't transition straight to a double. He gets 2 hands on the legs. 2 hands on a leg, infinitely better than one. And then just stands up with it. And at that point, there's not much that you can do on the other side to defend it. From here, he keeps everything tight and compact, and he kind of sucks the knee up and shelves it on his thighs. So he walks up to it, right? He steps with his left foot so he can really lean into Simon. And then when his right foot comes up, he sucks the near leg into him and steps behind it, right? Do you see where his right foot's at?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to force Simon. If Simon doesn't move here, he just gets tripped and falls to his back, right? So this forces him to try and create space instead of allowing the immediate takedown, because he's going to try and extend the scramble to not give it up. So he fights his foot out to the outside. He's doing a decent job. He's looking for his whizzer, right? And that's when Chad Red just kind of stands up and he starts walking away from him. That way he can extend his knee all the way, right? So Simon's going to try and dive away. Chad Red does not panic at all. This is when he starts going back in towards the pressure, and he kind of almost like does a drag. He keeps Simon's left leg tight in between his arm and waist, and almost drags it past and shoots his left arm under, because he's looking for, at this point, he's looking for a finish, right? And he has to secure the hips. The reason he doesn't secure the hips with his left hand instead of his right from here is because once he goes around the waist that way, Simon can sit back, turn into him. He can go to a Granby. He can create a lot more dangerous scramble opportunities, and you don't want to do all that work for a takedown and not get it. That sucks. So he takes his time with the finish. He swivels his shoulders, shoots the left arm underneath, and it's like half double leg, half tight waist. But he doesn't go higher than the cusp at the waist, right? If you can control someone's waist, you can control the direction that they're moving. So he drags the leg past, gets in deep at the waist, and then Simon goes to keep wrestling and stand up. Chad Red never let go of that leg through the entire sequence, right? He drags it past him, dives underneath, doesn't let go of the leg, so that when Simon goes to stand back up, he just lifts back at the leg, and this is when you get into your double leg finishes. And from there, it's just an easy cover.